we're very welcoming of everybody. There's no reason that you can't learn somebody else's culture. There's a very common misconception that like because you're not part of this culture, you can't learn about it. We have a very big variety, I think, of cultures and backgrounds and whatnot in our mariachi.
By the end of it, it's like you are all connected. When you're up there performing, it's like they're not going to tell if you're Mexican or not. They're not going to care if you're Mexican or not. All they're going to care about is, can you play this, yes or no?
They care about if you intend on playing and you intend to put in the work to learn it, to learn the art form, we are all somos mariachis. We're not this person and this person and this person. Somos Mariachi Arizona. Somos whatever you define, you want to be defined as with this group.
Hey Wildcats, my name is Nicole Camacho and you're listening to UAZ Podcast, and I'm here with my colleague Rebecca Ursule. Today we have a very special guest from Mariachi Arizona, Michael and Antonio. Welcome. You guys are so welcome to UAZ Podcast. So please introduce yourselves. What are you guys majoring in, and are you in any part of organizations?
Well, I'm a senior here at the U of A, and I'm majoring in history. And I'm also part of Grupo Folklorico Mitzontli, like the official Folklorico for the U of A. And I'm also coalition chair for the JUNTOS Coalition, in addition to being co-leader of Mariachi Arizona.
My name is Antonio. I'm a sophomore and a music education major. I've been playing with Mariachi Arizona since my senior year in high school. And that was my first mariachi group here. But I also play in other genres. I play with the jazz bands here and concert ensembles, and conduct as well here in Tucson with different local groups, and play in Mariachi Nuevo Azteca here in Tucson.
That's so amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast and inspiring students here at the U of A. So for our first question is that you guys are involved with Mariachi Arizona. Can you share how people can get involved with the class?
So Mariachi Arizona is open to really anyone, like of any level, even if you don't really have musical experience. And that's the kind of the beauty of it, is that anyone can come in and they can pretty much learn from scratch. They don't have to have a musical background. Like most of us that go in, we do tend to have some type of musical background, but it's not a necessity to join in. Basically, you kind of just show up to the class and you tell them, and you like say what you want to play, and we'll try to fit you and we'll try to help you as much as we can. And if you really are, and if you're a U of A student, you can actually sign up to take the class.
Yeah, we do sort of emphasize like to have a basic understanding of whatever instrument that you come in playing. But if the easiest way is like you know the style of music and you want to learn, usually we'll start you on like an armonia instrument, which is one of our guitar instruments. Those are things that are easier, but like violin and trumpet and things like that. We usually say like to have a baseline knowledge, and then we can teach you the style. That's the only like caveat of being open to anybody, and no audition always at the moment.
What inspired you guys to get involved with Mariachi Arizona, and what drew you guys to go into this genre of music?
For me, what inspired me to kind of join Mariachi Arizona is simply because I've been doing mariachi for the past 13 years, and I've been playing my instrument for the past 10 years. And so when I first came to the U of A, I didn't really know that much about the mariachi program here. And like my first 2 years, I really didn't do much with it. And then finally my junior year, I decided I'm just going to go try it out. And so I went and I tried it out, and I was like, you know what, I really like it. I really like playing at like the collegiate level and being able to like, you get a lot of opportunities being like, especially how big the U of A is and everything. And so that kind of just drew me more toward it. And like for like mariachi, as far as like when I first got into it, I really liked it because I grew up with that kind of music, and I grew up watching it, and I always thought it was like so cool to play it. So when I finally was able to play it, I really like took that opportunity, and I kind of just never let it go. And I've been in so many different groups since then. And it really just kind of inspired me to like just keep going, even like through Mariachi Arizona and hopefully into the future.
For me, like I said, I had started with Mariachi Arizona my senior year of high school, because I went to high school that didn't have a mariachi program. I work in the district now, so I'm trying to start a program there. But when I went there, they didn't have a program, and I had already been playing trumpet for about 8 or 9 years from then, and I had gotten reached out by a friend of mine saying, "Hey, the U of A is looking for a trumpet player, and I know you were interested." And that's I just kind of stumbled upon the U of A's group, and knowing nothing about playing the style, just hearing it, which is kind of unique about that. And that was 2.5 years ago.
We showed up at the same rehearsal.
Yeah. Except he went to one rehearsal my senior year and then poofed, disappeared, and then came back when I came to the U of A officially. And then we met each other and we were like, let's start an Instagram. He started the Instagram, and I was like, I want to help. And then we sort of just grew into this whole big thing. But it's just my unique thing is like, this is where I started with mariachi, like my whole mariachi journey, and it grew so many other opportunities for me to play now outside of here. And now I play with, like I said, Mariachi Nuevo Azteca, and they're a very high level playing group as well. And it's just, it's a good place to learn the fundamentals of mariachi.
How long is the class overall? Is it like a regular class? Do you guys have a club after that, or after the class you go into your specific majors, or do you guys connect after the class? Like for example, because if it's a regular class, that means the class ends in December.
Yes.
So the students who were part of that group, of course, most of them are not musicians, are not like taking the musical major. So kind of like, do you have a place where you guys connect after that? Or you just do the class and then you can all go into your different departments?
We've tried, as long as like we've kind of been more in charge, we've kind of tried to connect the group, like especially outside of just like the class, like simply just showing up to play for like the 2 hours and then simply like leaving.
Yeah.
We like try to emphasize like sticking together, like forming like a friend group and everything among like all of us, because we do play a lot and we do a lot of stuff like outside of school together. And I feel like that kind of really helps like the connection level. And then also when we go on breaks and things like that, like, yes, the class does stop during that time, but a lot of us still will continue to either like play either in our own individual groups, or we'll still try to connect, or if there's like a performance like request or whatever, and there's enough of us here, because a majority actually of the group, like at least currently, is from Tucson, so it makes it kind of nice. But we really try to, like, if there's a performance request during winter break, we will try to make it happen if we can, and I feel like that kind of way, it still keeps it connected, so it kind of branches out from just simply just taking the class and just getting the credit for it.
Yeah. So, and how has like being part of that group, the Mariachi Arizona, allow students to connect with? I know you've kind of touched base on that, but so the question is, how does it allow you guys to connect with the Hispanic Heritage Month and celebrate Heritage Month on campus at the moment?
I think it's just simply because mariachi is like kind of like a cornerstone, especially of Hispanic culture. And so it really connects you that way. But also a lot of the songs, they're not like songs that were written within the past few years. They're songs that were written like generations back. So even when you're singing the songs, you're like kind of singing the history of Mexico, and you're kind of singing like all of their stories, because back then they communicated mainly through songs. So a lot of it, you're singing their history when you're also like teaching it to the people, because people you're singing to aren't necessarily, they're not going to know like the history of Mexico. So it's kind of like to like be able to, you're kind of like singing it, you're like connecting that back to Hispanic culture, but also just mariachi in general. It's like a hallmark of Hispanic culture. When a lot of people think of Mexico, they think of like mariachi and like the music and everything. And so I feel like in that way it kind of just helps to connect like the students and everything really back to the Hispanic culture.
Growing up, I feel like the music we grow up to evolves into us as adults. So was mariachi always a genre you guys would listen to? Because I grew up in a Mexican household, and the only genre that my mom would play are cumbias. And I'm like, Mom, chill out. It's 7 a.m. I do not want to be listening to cumbias at 7 a.m. So were you guys always listening to mariachi growing up?
For me, it wasn't so much mariachi. It was more like Tejano music, like Selena and like those kind of.
Oh, okay.
And like, so like, because my family, they come from like Texas. So it's kind of like that music is like really big. And mariachi, I didn't really listen to it that much, I think, until probably my later years of elementary school, when like I started seeing like the groups perform more, and I was going to camps and everything for mariachi. And really, that way, it kind of just like, after that, I kind of just like stuck with it, because like, even he can tell you, I'll be like playing mariachi music like almost every time that we go somewhere.
It's always after rehearsal or something. We're in the car. We're either listening to like a playlist of like what we're trying to practice right now, and we're usually weirdly jamming to it. You would think, you would probably think it's weird, or we're just like listening to mariachi music in the car or whatever. But we do. It's
So you guys have unique I don't know what to call them, costumes or
trajes de charro.
Is there a meaning in those outfits that you guys wear, or is it just because it's mariachi?
It is because that's
the historical base for that. Yeah,
it's the standard of it, but it also like kind of shows like just unity among the group, because it shows the professionalism as well as showing like that you guys are all part of the same group and everything like that. Because even for Hispanic heritage, like you'll see during halftime, you'll see like 4 or 5 different types of trajes out there, like different colors, different designs, everything. Yeah. And so you can really like tell like, oh, they're from this group or they're from this group. And so it kind of helps like in that way, like to also differentiate like each group from each other.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is an old picture. Like this is our university traje that we have.
Oh my God, that's cute.
And so like a big part of like we've said, it shows unity. It's you're a representative of your group. Usually, the different parts of the traje have different meanings that are specific towards the group. Usually, whatever design around it can be to your liking, but usually, like on your shoulder right here, you have some kind of logo or letters, emblem, whatever represents your group, and also your moño. Everything's very coordinated. That connects you to a specific group. I think that's what makes them kind of special too.
Oh, okay.
They're very symbolic of both the history and present day, what your group is with that. Yeah.
And do you guys perform on the rodeo parade?
We're trying.
We're trying, because I do work for the rodeo parade, so we're trying to like get us in through through that way. But we do try to like, at least since like we've kind of been in the group, we've tried to get the group more public and do more like bigger events. Like we always did Hispanic Heritage, but that was for years like the biggest event really that mariachi did. And so now we're kind of like we're like doing more bigger events like that. So hopefully we do the rodeo parade.
Yeah. This group has sort of flown under the radar just because it is a class, but there hadn't been as much student initiative taken on, and as in the past 2 years, I think with us and also some of our other like student leaders of each section had taken more initiative. Our director too has kind of been very encouraging of like of us taking the initiative to work with each other and get us out there.
Yeah, I think it's so important to have mariachi, especially on campus, because this is Tucson. There's so many Hispanics here and so much culture here also. So showing that culture to other students who are not native Tucsonians.
Yeah. I think that's like...
Yeah, I did not like that word.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so mariachi is such a collaborative art form. How does participating in mariachi shape your skills in teamwork and leadership?
I think it really shapes skills because you're in a group of people, and like our group, I mean, it's nearly 30 people, but even in smaller groups and even in bigger groups like us, you really need to have teamwork in order to like work together to produce like a good product when it comes to like sound and everything. Because when you're actually playing mariachi music, you really have to be in sync with each other. You have to know, each have to know your individual parts, but you have to know how they fit with other people. And a big part of that is like the teamwork and everything. And then like what we do, like kind of the behind the scenes, like kind of more of like the business side of it and that kind of thing, that's also a lot of teamwork because you're doing a lot of coordinating. You have to be on the same page a lot of the time. You have to make tough decisions and all that sometimes. But it's like all kind of goes back to like it's a group art form, and in that way it kind of promotes like group and like teamwork.
That's kind of been a big encouraging thing about our group too, is on a realer side of things, we don't have time for the drama and antics of like, fighting over this song, wanting to sing this, or internal drama. We've all just kept a very strong community. That's what I've loved in particular about this group, is that because we're all at such different levels, we're all very respectful of that.
Yeah.
And it encourages more collaborative, just collaborative thinking and working together. And especially because this is a collegiate group, and I think a big part of that meaning of like being a collegiate group is that we're all adults here. We're all adults. We all have our own lives going on, but we're at the end of the day we're coming together to create this beautiful form of art.
What's your favorite song to perform?
Oh, that's a hard one. I probably have to say.
Don't say it.
I probably have to say a song that it's not even actually a mariachi song, but it's just fun to play because I actually learned the accordion to play it. But it's Un Rinconcito en el Cielo.
Oh, okay.
And so when we picked that song, because we actually did it last semester, I loved that song so much because it was like, it highlighted the accordion, and I had always said, I was like, I want to learn accordion. And then I decided to like just show up and learn it. And then he wrote out the song for me. And then that was a whole fiasco to write it out. But I've just always liked that song in general, like even like the original version of it. And so when we got to play it like on stage and everything, it was really like cool because it's like you played it and it's like you play the first couple notes and instantly everyone knew what song it was. And then they all started like going crazy. So that's really just what made it like fun, and like at least for me, that's like my most favorite song to play.
I don't know. It's hard to choose between like songs you like to play and songs you like to sing because you're doing very different things in that. I guess it makes more sense for you to like Rinconcito because I mean when you're guitarron player, like you are the bass. There's not like sometimes there's interesting bass stuff, but
you don't really get ever like a spotlight.
Yeah,
that's the thing you give up being that, but you also.
But then you're also the only one, so it's like
there's
a little spotlight. I think at least playing wise for me. Some people may hate on this because, like, if you're in the mariachi community, like, El Cascabel is overplayed. but there's so many different variations of this particular song because it features each section. And so, like, whenever you get a chance to feature your section, it's like, oh, you can come up with something really cool to play. And El Cascabel, I've played a couple different versions of it, and it's just so fun to kind of show off different ways, especially when you have at least me as a trumpet player, when you have multiple trumpet players. It's very cool.
Have you guys ever... Because, okay, back again with the cumbias, like, they turned like a Squid Games song into a cumbia. Have you guys ever inverted in English or any type of other genre into a mariachi song?
Well, we do. Yeah, there's a ton of different ones. Like, they've done different. Like, at least for us, we've played like cumbias. Like we've done like La Yaquecita and stuff like that, and like. Un Rinconcito en el Cielo, which is a corrido originally. But like, I mean, really, you can do mariachi for anything. I mean, sometimes even in practice, I just start playing like the SpongeBob theme song. Really? And like everyone just joins in because. but like, you can really do any genre. Like they even have arrangements for mariachis to play like big band music, like from Glenn Miller, like back in the 50s and 60s. Like that's the nice thing about mariachi. You can really put it into like almost any genre, and you can figure out a way to make it work in that genre.
Basically, well, like even at the mariachi conference here in Tucson, like the feature group Nuevo Tecalitlan, they brought a popurrí, which is like a medley of songs. They brought a popurrí de Cristian Nodal.
Yeah.
And
oh my god,
it's actually really fun to play, but I guess he kind of already does a mixture of like. Tejano and mariachi fusion, but they wrote a medley of his songs to play with the mariachis at the mariachi conference. So that was kind of cool. And that's like an example of like how that can transfer over.
So with you guys have talked more of the mariachi songs being mostly on the history sides. So do they portray any other themes besides history, like let me say when it comes to morals, development, encouragement, empowerment? Do they portray that?
They really go into like they have probably, if you could think of an emotion or you could think of something that like people do, mariachi, there's some song about it. And some songs, they don't even have like words, but it's like the song has like a meaning. And that's like the kind of nice thing about it. Like there's a song I play, there's a song that I sing, the whole meaning of the song is literally just don't fall in love and go party instead. That's the whole meaning of the entire song. So it's really like they really have like they have a lot of meanings, and a lot of songs also have like universal meanings. Like they don't just tie it to the historical aspect. It's just a lot of the more popular songs that like if you play them, people are going to recognize them. They tend to be more on the historical side and like talk more like about the history, about like the proud like Mexican heritage and things like that. But there's also songs where it's like the whole point of the song is like to empower women, and they have other songs where it's like it's simply you trying to get over a heartbreak or you trying to do things like that. Like they have songs for like all those type of things.
And do politicians uses them for campaigns? Like some of the songs?
I mean, there have been, like, I'm sure you might be referencing, like how Tigres did at, like, the Kamala, Kamala Harris thing. Like, so, like, different, his, like, the sin corridos. Corridos are a type of genre that tell a story. Everything that they're talking about is about something that actually happened. And so you might hear like an original corrido about like a specific event. And sometimes I have seen politicians use that
because it's a way of connecting with like a base that maybe they're not like they're not part of, or they're not really like they don't have that strong of a connection to. That's really like a really good way to like try to connect.
I think a good example is Rafi, the lawyer.
The lawyer.
So what has been your most memorable performance or experience so far with Mariachi Arizona?
Oh, that's a hard one. But for me, it would probably have to be like when we did the mariachi conference last year. And when we actually, because we performed in the showcase for like the first time, and I think it was like 20 years. Because because the group itself has been around since like the 80s. But it's been hidden for a majority of that.
Yeah.
So when we got to go up there and play, it was like kind of nice because we were the only collegiate group that got to actually be in the showcase, which actually is a competition between like all the different groups. And when we actually got up there to play and everything, it was really nice because it's like you're in a gigantic stage, you're in the Linda Ronstadt Music Hall that's like completely sold out, and everyone's just there to watch you. And so you can't see much from up there, but it was just like really nice because we back then we had 2 guitarón players, but because I'm one of them, but at that day we only had one because the other girl couldn't come, so I was by myself completely. And so that was like, and I was like, and right before I actually like had a whole like panic attack because I was like, I can't do this. And then our director like talked to me a bit, and then he kind of calmed me down. And then we went out there and I played, and it was so fun because it's like afterwards, it's like we're all just hugging backstage, and we all get like congratulated by like everyone, and you see all these other high school groups where it's like you kind of looked up to them all the time, and it's like you like it's like that good feeling because they're coming at you and they're like they're coming up to you and being like, oh, you did such a good job, or you did this and that, and so like I feel like that's like my most memorable experience, at least so far in mariachi, has been really just that, because that was like a full circle moment for me, because I've been doing it. I did it through high school. I saw all those other groups play up there, and so I always wanted to be up there with them, and so then I got that chance, and it was just a really good feeling for me.
I think being being there, hearing like. There's something where there's a like feeling, a nuanced like feeling of like you can tell when you've connected with your audience, and
we heard that
right when we started right when we started playing, there was just like an instant connection, and you can hear. I have a video of like, I don't know if I can play it or not, but like I have a video of when we first like. We came in with our tema, which is essentially our theme.
Our theme,
which we basically turned bear down into a son rhythm.
Oh my goodness!
People heard it, and then it transitioned into our first song, And people, you could hear the crowd like being like, "Oh my god!" Plus, because this was the first time we've kind of shown our faces in a little while, and people, you could kind of hear people. I don't know if you can hear it. Let me see. Can you? Yeah, I think you can hear it.
Oh my god, I love that.
You could just, that, like, the energy you feel is like, whoa.
Yeah.
I love the mariachi. Like the first time I heard them was like I was for my high school graduation, and they came. They usually coordinate with them to come and play on those big occasions. So they were really playing, and like it's so emotional. Like I just love how the people sing. Like they sing with all their heart. Like they pour it with like you find like you can just feel it. That's one thing like I love about the music. It's kind of different from any other music for sure. Just love how people like pour it everything, like their soul and their energy. And I'm like, wow. And that was my first time to listen to a mariachi song, and I was like, wow, we should be listening to this more oftenly. And the second time was at the church. So I go to a Catholic church, and so that time they had to coordinate with the mariachi group to come and sing for the whole mass. It was really beautiful. I was like, wow, I wish they can sing like this more often. We will have the whole community coming to church. Yeah.
You mentioned that you were panicking before performing. Do you guys have a ritual, or is everyone super nervous before performing?
It's kind of like because you practice so much and you do this for so long, but you're doing it like in the comfort of your own or just with the group. Just you're in a room and you're playing with the same people like over and over again. So you have that certain level of like comfort, but then now you're going outside of your comfort zone. You're going in front of like groups like gigantic ones like that, and so it really is kind of like it's kind of like it's just part of what the program is when it comes to mariachi. Like you have to play in front of those larger crowds, sometimes that are going to judge you, sometimes that are going to like cheer for you and like just congratulate you at the end of it, but you don't really know what you're getting half the time. So it's really like you kind of like you work so hard and you do all that and you build up that anxiety level, so it's kind of just like so then when the moment comes you kind of really, at least for me, I still have that anxiety level, but then once I start playing it's like I'm fine. And it's like, okay, this was just like practice. Okay, we're fine.
And that's been a big reason as to like why we've been since we've joined pushing so hard for more public performances, because like it's that way of getting out of your shell and just being like, okay, we're here. It's time to play, regardless of anything that you've prepared or how you feel. Like it's time to play, and then you're in it, and once you're kind of immersed in like a performance space or experience or wherever you are, you start to get used to being like, okay, we're here, it's gig time, we're gonna, and every time we just perform our best. And I feel like for a long time this group hadn't really done that. They had been, they'd rehearsed and then they did the recital, once a semester. And that was kind of the extent of it. And once you get on that stage, you're like, oh my God, we've never done. There's going to be people watching us, and we've been playing for 5 months without people watching us. And so that's why it's such a big deal to push groups like that into the public, because it helps us and it helps people connect with us too, and gets more people to go to said concerts.
Yeah, recorded music versus live music is so different. I listen to like rap, hip hop. So my mom is always like, girl, like it says the F word, it says this, like this is so bad. And then when we go to a concert, she's the first one jumping, saying all the words, and I'm like, girl. And then she's like, it's so different when it's recorded versus when the music is live.
So what has been one of like your biggest audience so far? How many people were in the audience?
Probably the biggest audience has been the conference.
It's probably the showcase.
Yeah, the showcase for the conference. That was, how many people was that?
That hall, I want to say fits like 1,200 people, something like
Well,
that.
I would have been
So then you go for that, like when you don't really know what the expectation of the people will be, so you are ready for the unexpected, just ready for anything.
Like you show up and then you're kind of like and then it's kind of like that moment where it's like you start playing and you're like, okay, I've done all I can do.
2,300 seats.
Oh, okay.
That's a lot.
I can, like, it's, you get that moment, you get to that moment where it's like, I've done all I can do. I've practiced all I can. We've all done as much as we can, like, to prepare for this, but again, like, the unexpected can happen. And so you kind of just have to, like, you have to play your best, and then when you're done, at the end of it, you can at least, like, tell yourself, like, I did my best. I did all I could do. But, you know, if they didn't like it, they didn't like it. But it's kind of like, but your hope is that they do like it, because when they do like it, they tend to come up and congratulate you, and it's a really good feeling.
And you can tell when you did not connect with them, because
just awkward silence.
So besides you guys practicing for 2 hours every week, approximately, let me say, and so what's the other commitment besides practicing for 2 hours? Because I'm sure there's a lot that goes behind the scene.
It's a lot of, like, kind of, you really have to just, like, you have to, like, commit to, like, you have to show up to performances. We don't expect, like, everyone to show up every single performance. But, like, there's a certain level where it's like, if you can play and you know the music pretty well, you know, you're kind of expected, like, okay, like, you should be able at least to play, like, these little smaller performances where there might not be a lot of people, or it's like a last minute performance we just decided to take. And so that's just part of it, is kind of just, like, being available, and also, like, having commitment to the group, like, understanding that to a certain extent, like, we understand life happens, all of that, but there's a certain level of, like, commitment when you join the group. Like, you're kind of expected, in case performances come up and you're available, you should be there.
And how many pieces do you guys play per conference? Like, you guys had a conference recently. How many pieces were there?
We played 3 for the conference, because you only get a 9-minute time slot.
And they will time you.
And they will catch you off.
Oh my God.
Per semester, our more recent goal has been about 20 songs. And we try to think, and those 20 songs are usually looked at as, like, our concert songs. Those are the songs that we're getting ready over the semester, over time. But there's also then, aside from that, there's a set of what most mariachis just refer to as, like, cajon standards. Cajon, like, as in, like, these are standard arrangements, standard songs that just about, like, if you meet a mariachi, they should know these songs. We can call a key or whatever. It's a very versatile thing where, like, we should be able to kind of call a key. This is the song. Okay, you have maybe 2 to 5 seconds to be like, okay, what's my first note? We don't put that much a lot of groups will put that kind of pressure. We don't usually necessarily put that much pressure on this particular group because of the variety of learning levels. But we do have, like, standards that we keep in our rotation to do some of these smaller gigs that we shouldn't call them smaller gigs. I don't know, maybe smaller audience gigs. But just different public gigs where it's not the whole group, but we can still put together a set list of songs.
And a lot of time, those songs are, like, more personal songs, because, like, we're not gonna like go to, like a nana's, like, party and play, like
Como cascabel.
Yeah, like
no, I have done that before, but
like, I mean, like, ordinarily that's usually not what you do. You want to play, like, songs that are more, like, personal songs that they might connect more, or just like kind of more like upbeat, like, party songs. You're not gonna go out and play, like, an 8-minute arrangement of, like, that you've been practicing all semester for. Like, that's not what you're gonna find there.
So for students who wants to join the mariachi or other cultural organizations around campus or in the community, what advice or encouragement do you have for them?
I would say, honestly, just try it. Even though you might be completely new to it, it might be something, like, completely foreign to you, either because that's not your culture or just because you've never tried it before. Like, just try it. Like, nothing's going to hurt from trying it, and no one's going to judge you or say that it's bad for you to try new things, or, like, because who knows, you might like it. It's just like when I joined Folklorico. I never danced Folklorico before. I was in mariachi, which plays background to Folklorico. And so then I joined, and I was like, you know what? I like this, and I've stuck with it since then. And so it's, like, in that way, like, I would just simply say, like, if you're interested in something and you have the opportunity to join or at least try it out, like, just try it out, because you're never going to really know if you would have liked it or you would have gotten other opportunities from it, like, if you never tried it.
Yeah. I think a very common misconception, especially for, like, I guess when we're talking about Hispanic define groups in particular. I think a very common misconception is like, well, I've heard before, like, well, I'm not Mexican. I don't speak Spanish. I don't belong here. And yes, there's a cultural standard, and majority of us, yes, do come from a Hispanic background, but we're very welcoming of everybody. There's no reason that you can't learn somebody else's culture. There's a difference between appropriating the culture and learning the culture. I think that's a very big distinction. Like, if you're someone who has no idea about mariachi, you're like, I'm going to start a mariachi group and see what happens. That's a little more like kind of taking advantage of the culture, I would think. But there's a very common misconception that, like, because you're not part of this culture, you can't learn about it. We have a very big variety, I think, of cultures and backgrounds and whatnot in our mariachi. Like, even some of us who would come from Hispanic backgrounds who don't even speak Spanish. Some of them don't speak Spanish.
Yeah, and it's nice because it's like you go in there and you might not immediately connect with everyone, and that's like fine. And the point
anything.
And the point is, it's like by the end of it, it's like you are all connected. When you're up there performing, it's like they're not going to tell if you're Mexican or not. They're not going to care if you're Mexican or not. All they're going to care about is, can you play this? Yes or no?
They care about your passion. Like your intent on playing. If you intend on playing and you intend to put in the work to learn it, to learn the art form, we are all somos mariachis. We're not this person and this person and this person. Somos Mariachi Arizona. Somos whatever you want to be defined as with this group.
Do you guys collab with the dancers a lot, or
we're trying? We're trying more.
We're trying more now because, like, well, we always have done the collaboration with them for the Hispanic Heritage Game, because they're kind of like handcuffed to us like the entire day, pretty much. But for other, like, we're trying to get them for other performances, and then like even possibly like have a showcase and things with them, and that it just comes from a lot because for so long they were like completely two separate groups. They never collaborated, they never did anything, and so now we're kind of trying to bring them back together because, well, I'm in Folklorico. He just started Folklorico like yesterday.
I went to, like, even me, like, I've never danced. I understand, I play the music. I've never danced to the music. I went yesterday to a Folklorico rehearsal because he's been trying to get me to join for a while. And I finally gave in and said, you know what, I'm going to try it because I think it's good to understand both sides of it, because there's completely different points of views from when you're dancing to the music versus when you're playing it. You have completely different things going on in your head, but you're all hearing and looking at the same thing. And that's just like another thing of like, just try it. Don't be afraid. I think you'll regret more not trying something than trying something and either succeeding at it or just being like, this isn't for me.
I know this is a class, but to me it sounds more like an organization because you guys are coming up with new ideas, innovative skills of improving it more and more. You know, if it's a class, you guys are going to leave after the semester. So how are you going? What's you guys' plan or vision for this class? Yet you only have a semester in the class. Yeah, so like our whole thing is really we try our best to like retain like pretty much everyone like every semester they want to, because we even have people in there that already graduated that are actually alumni.
Oh,
that's a fun class.
we do.
That's the only class on campus with alumni.
We keep it open because we understand like for everyone, for a lot of them, it's like this might be like their only opportunity that they get, or that this is like their only chance really for them to play mariachi music. And so the nice thing about that is like we don't tell you like, oh, once you graduate, once the semester's over, you're done. Like don't come back. We're very open to like taking everyone back that wants to come, like whether you're an alumni or whether you came like one semester like me, like I went to one practice, I never went back again, and then I came back next semester and then I joined officially. So it's
we prefer you didn't do that. But like that's the idea, is that we're open. We're an open group. We're open to people who want to learn and people who are there to stay and learn.
So what happens when you complete the class and you said you are allowed to come back? Do you pay for the credits or no?
It's just like if you're a U of A student, then you enroll in the class. It's todo like that.
Even for the second time, you still have to enroll in the class?
Yeah, you do have to enroll every semester and add it to your classes, because he does say like if you are a U of A student, you have to enroll. the only exceptions are made like if you are not a U of A student, and usually that's kind of pretty limited because it's usually for people who like go to Pima or something like that, or going to transfer, things like that, you know. And
it just kind of, it makes it simpler, but also gives the support up, because as a class we get a lot more support from like from the university and from specifically like the School of Music than like other organizations do that are just like the clubs and everything.
Yeah.
And so through that, it's like support. We want to keep that support, and so part of that is keeping the enrollment and everything like up, and it got a good number. And I mean, the nice thing about that is that a lot of our students are U of A students, so it's like simply enroll in the class and
yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's very nice. We do like kind of. There's a heavier preference to keeping it mainly towards U of A students because we want to give this option as a collegiate opportunity for people who are in college who are like, I want to try something new, or like I'm a music major, but like I want to play another genre. You know, we try to keep that kind of open, but then it's also open to members of the community.
So we're coming to the end of our podcast. Our last question for you is, how do opportunities like Mariachi Arizona enrich the overall campus experience?
They enrich it because it kind of shows like the cultural side of the cultural side, because we're in Tucson. Tucson has a lot of Hispanic culture, a lot of Hispanic history. And so, like, mariachi is a big part of that. Like, if you go out and ask people, like, Tucson's one of, like, the mariachi, like, centers in the U.S.
Tucson is the home of mariachi, especially,
Yeah, and so it's, like, and so in that way, it's kind of nice because it does enrich the campus, like, environment and, like, the community, because it not only brings people together from, like, different cultures and different things like that, but it's also, like, you're showcasing a culture that's very predominant, especially here in, like, southern Arizona. So in that way, it's kind of... you're not only representing like just the U of A or like maybe the Hispanic community, but you're also representing like a major portion of the United States in like an area that historically was historically underrepresented. So in that way, it really kind of helps, and it kind of like enriches the whole campus experience, and it's also just a lot of fun.
That's true. Yeah, it's literally just like an enriching experience that you can have, and that. And nobody seems to really understand, like, you can have this experience if you're willing to put in the time and effort to either learn an instrument, or if you know the instrument, learn a new genre. And this being, like, I think it's very important, like, to highlight that this is the U of A's official group. This is an official mariachi group that represents an entire university through this specific genre, through this specific culture, where Tucson, the home of the U of A, is also the home of mariachi, where mariachi started with Los Changuitos Feos and slowly opened mariachi culture and experiences to the U.S. You know, originally it was just in Mexico, and then it grew here, and it started right here in Tucson. And I think that's important to know. Like, for a college town like Tucson to have this kind of representation, it's a big deal to take advantage in a good way of showing that kind of representation and that cultural heritage.
When you guys are singing or performing, do you feel connected to the cultural or traditional part of it?
Yeah, I'd say so, and that's like, and I mean, I'm Hispanic. I grew up around all that culture and everything, but it really helps me. It really, like, you do feel that connection because you're performing, and it's like you might only have one person in the audience who even maybe understands like what you're singing or saying, but it's like if they're cheering, it's like you feel that connection. Just with you feel the connection like back and forth between people because they understand what you're doing, and also because you can, a lot of the songs you can like emote, you can act out what is being said in them, and so in that way it's like you're kind of like. You're not reliving, like, the history of the culture, but you're, like, representing it in, like, your own way. You're bringing, like, your own, like, flavor to it. And I feel like that's also, like, a major part of, like, just kind of, like, it kind of just helps me, like, at least be connected because it really is kind of, like, my way of, like, showcasing my own culture.
Whenever I think a big part of just singing in general with mariachi music is a heavy emphasis on interpretation. Actually, just with both playing and singing. Because even when you're just playing, you're all people that everybody's looking at, and it's important to channel whatever energy that you're trying to do. Because like, especially when and me as a trumpet player, I like to think of like, especially with mariachi music, you're singing through your instrument, you're speaking through music and through sound. And interpretation is just there's such a heavy emphasis on it, especially when you're learning how to sing. Because even if you don't speak Spanish, like we have people who sing who don't speak Spanish, but it's important to understand what you're saying, because in that way is also how you connect with the audience. Because say your audience speaks Spanish and they're all listening to you sing, and they're listening to what you're saying. So if you're standing there like this, you're just standing still, and you're singing a song about love or a song about hate, they're going to be like, do they know what they're talking about? Or like, but it's important to get out there and be expressive, both while playing and while singing. Like I sing La Bikina with one of the other groups, the Luis Miguel version, and sometimes
he tries to channel his inner Luis.
I feel very cringy sometimes doing it, but when you see people like laughing and it makes them happy, you can see their smile and they're being like, oh my god, he's doing the Luis Miguel. It goes to show like that's how you're connecting with your audience.
Yeah, there's so many musicians. I know Luis Miguel. I know Juan Gabriel. Is there one specific that inspires you the most?
That's kind of hard.
Maybe if not an artist, pick like one of the mariachis, como Camperos Sol or whatever.
Like I would probably have to say like I get, because like he said, like it's kind of hard, especially for me, because I play the guitarón. Like guitarón players never ever get like spotlighted, and so I probably have to say like Mariachi Vargas in general, which is, I mean, they're a group, but they're like the most famous mariachi in like the world. But really, I mean, a couple years ago when they came to conference, I got to learn from them because I was in the class with them. And like, I just liked it because they keep a lot of things traditional, but they also know how to incorporate everything that's new and everything like into the music, but still keeping it like to like its roots and still keeping it like traditional to what mariachi is like was back then, to like how it's like kind of grown and evolved to now. And I feel like in that way, it kind of just inspires me, because it's like, yeah, you can accept like what's happening now. You can accept like what's going to happen in the future. Yeah. But you're also like not forgetting. You're still staying true to like who you are and everything like that.
Like similarly, he's probably gonna know what I'm gonna say right now. But like one of my favorite groups that I take inspiration from is Mariachi Sol de Mexico. I got to work with them over this past summer, like the group themselves, and they were my first conference. The group first group that I ever worked with. They're probably one of the most innovative. They have a very unique sound. Like when you hear them, you're like, oh, that's Sol de Mexico, because they've been able to incorporate tradition and also modern aspects of newer music genres and whatnot. And I find a lot of inspiration through them just because of how innovative they've been, especially with their composer, Jose Hernandez. He's a very innovative composer and just like musician in general. And then one of their singers, Fernando Moreno, I take a lot of inspiration from him because I love his voice. And I took his vocal class at the conference up in LA. And he taught me so much about like interpretation and feeling the music. I feel a bit, in case you can't tell me, like I feel a very big heavy emphasis on interpretation of the music and what you're so.
Yeah, I never got into mariachi, but I know Hombres G, Los Opson, Los Angeles Azules, but that's it. I never got into mariachi, so I'll be listening to it tonight.
Thank you so much for coming over and chat with us about the Mariachi Arizona class. And I kind of have a feeling that it's really a great class that is connected with people from different backgrounds, not only specifically people who can speak Spanish, but everybody is allowed to join the group. And one thing that I've learned over the years is that even if you don't know how to speak the language, but as long as you're passionate about the music and singing, that's how you learn how to speak the language, because as you sing, you get some interpretation, and also you start to think of how can I interpret this, and that's how you learn over the time. And Nicole and I are really grateful that you guys came over, because we've learned so much that we didn't know about what goes like behind the scenes, where how you guys practice, the time you put in and all that. it's really amazing to see what you guys are doing and ensuring that the club continues to grow. So we are really grateful, and we hope to continue seeking for more information about what you guys do, and maybe also come to one of your concerts or when you guys are performing. We'll love to see that.
Our semester recital this year is Wednesday, December 3rd, I think at 7 p.m. So
yes, we'll love to come for sure.
You can also follow the Instagram. Just saying. On our Instagram, we post all kinds of updates and whatnot for future performances, or just what we're doing, how to join the class, things like that. You can find all of those details on there.
What's the name of the Instagram for the audience?
You can literally just type Mariachi Arizona, and it should pop up.
And it's the only verified one. We're verified
we sacrificed the $15.
Well, thank you so much for sure.